I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money. Okay. Oh, let's see here. The Big Dog tipped me $5.01. Says, have you or Kat listened to the new Taylor Swift album yet? It's really good. It's probably the last thing anyone in this household would listen to. We'd probably listen to, like, a chorus of howler monkeys going, ooh, 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 before we listen to Taylor Swift. So thank you to the Big Dog for a $5.01 tip to start off the tipping today. I appreciate that. Okay. By the way, I'm pretty sure you knew that was my answer. I'm pretty sure that you understand that I don't care about Taylor Swift, right? Okay. All right. That's what we've got for now. If any other contributions come in, I'll shout them out. Now, guys, today's React Day, and as you know, as I tell you, with the React show, particularly the one on the DSP Reacts channel, okay? Sadly, I don't make revenue on anyone watching videos on that channel for the most part, and the reason is because every time I do this React show on Sunday, most of the videos get claimed on YouTube for content ID because we're watching other people's content. So there's no ad revenue to go around on the React channel. Really, the profit on my React channel is twofold: memberships and the profitability of the streams. And every Sunday I do a stream. So anything you contribute today, whether it be a super chat, a membership, or a tip, is going to help out my efforts to make React content. And I hope that you will support the stream, because typically what ends up happening is we get some good support early on the podcast, and then once the React show starts, for some reason it's like dead. And it's like, I'm doing the show, I'm enjoying it, I have an audience, but the contributions just die. And it's like, it kind of sucks because I like the React stuff. I want to keep doing it. I think it's good for variety, but it has to remain viable, okay? So, if you like this stuff, please support it today, okay? X-Shooter just did a super chat. Thank you, X-Shooter. How did you get the Fallout figure behind you? Well, hold on a second here. If I remember correctly, you have a Patreon, and there is a tier to have personal videos made. Is there a way to do that without Patreon? And I'm sure I know the answer. Have you ever thought of having a cameo? Reason is the question is someone's birthday is coming up this Friday. Excuse me. So, I do have a Patreon. I almost never mention it. It's patreon.com/darksidefil. Usually, all it's used for is legacy supporters who back in the day liked my content but didn't come to my live streams, but they wanted to support me in another way. Like they watched the on-demand videos or whatever, and they wanted to help out, and they would pledge to my Patreon. And it's just an ongoing pledge that happens once a month, and they help out. And it does. It helps a lot. It's, you know, it's a little bit of supplementary income for me and my business, and I appreciate anyone out there who does that, okay? But I've always had a tier for $50 pledge where I make you a private video. The original idea was that it's a private Q&A video, okay, where you ask me a bunch of questions, and I literally will just sit there and have this discussion with you about answering the questions. And it's supposed to be around a 20-minute video, give or take, sometimes a little longer depending on the subject matter, right? So essentially, I did Cameo before Cameo. And I've been doing this for a decade, okay? It's been 10 years since I opened my Patreon or whatever. Or was it 9 years? I think it's like 9 years since I opened my Patreon. So, yeah, this has been something ongoing for a very long time that I do. Now, does it happen all the time? No. In fact, these days, it's a rarity that anyone would want a private Q&A video, all right? But it just so happens that when I started doing React content 2 years ago, there was a demand for me to do more React content, but maybe not necessarily a public React, but something more privatized. And so at that point, people said, hey, would you ever consider, for those private videos that you already have on your Patreon, would you consider doing reacting instead of Q&A? I said, sure, as long as it's something that's reasonable, you know? I'm not going to react to a subject matter that I'm not interested in or super bothers me or something like that. So over the last year and a half, I've reacted to K-pop, travel vlogs, food vlogs, documentaries and political style stuff, anime, philosophical videos, religious videos. You probably don't know about most of those because they're private videos. There's only very few people like Slayer usually posts up all his videos publicly for others to watch, but most people don't. I've done many of these videos that you guys are not aware of and wouldn't know because people kept them. These are private videos for themselves, okay? So there you go. So that's how I do it. Now, if you're interested in getting a private video made, yes, it has to be done through Patreon. And you might say, well, why? I don't get it. It's this simple. It's because it's a business transaction, right? If you're going to send me funds and I'm going to give you something transactionally back, there has to be a record of that for record keeping, for tax purposes, for all of that. So by doing it through Patreon, it's kosher, basically. You know, everything's there. Everything's documented. You know, it gets recorded properly as income and everything. If you just send me money and say, hey, make a video, you know, there's really no proof there that a transaction took place properly. And you know what I'm saying? So really, it's a way to do it properly for my business. And it's a way to do it so that it protects both sides. That you can see that there was a proper transaction. I made the video. I provided the video. You know, it's kosher that way. Okay? Now, I get it. Maybe you don't want to use Patreon. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't do private videos outside of Patreon. That's just how it works. Okay? I'm not setting up a Cameo. There's no point. I already have a Patreon where we can do it through that. I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to do it through Patreon. Literally hundreds to probably upwards of 1,000 people over the years have pledged to my Patreon and had zero issues. So I don't know. It's one of the most, there's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. And by the way, you can immediately go in, pledge, and just withdraw your pledge right after. And it counts as a one-time transaction. It's not an ongoing thing. That's how you do it. That's what I would recommend. But if you need a video made by Friday, I can't make a video by Friday. You know, these are things that I have to fit into my schedule. And as of right now, I don't have any time set out where I'd be able to make private videos right now. I usually do it once a month. I usually do it the first week of every month because that's Patreon. The way it works is if you have an ongoing recurring subscription, it charges on the first of the month, usually clears by the second, okay? And then you can basically once a month get your video made, and I usually do it all together in one night that first week of the month. So if you were to pledge now and say, hey, I want a video done right away, I can't do that. If you were to pledge now and be like, hey, can I have a video like the first week of May? Yes, I could do that. Okay? And by the way, I'm getting some more questions about this. For example, Lilica says, did you ever deny reacting to someone's Patreon video? Yes, I denied 2. All right. Next to last or last chance for any kind of question or shout out, because I do need to get the React show up and running. So thank you to those who have chilled and or contributed this morning. Again, I will just urge you, if you like the React content, please support the stream today. I have noticed a pattern that sadly, a lot of the times when I start with the React stuff, all of a sudden, all the support dries up during the React show. It's like, so if I didn't have a good pre-stream with the podcast, it ends up being like a dead stream, and that sucks because that channel really only makes money off of memberships and the stream. So please support the stream today if you like the React stuff. Okay? Thank you. I just received another $1 tip. Thanks for answering my question. I understand everything you said. One more thing. Why does the month of April suck? It's always raining. At least down here in the south, I'm sick of it. Hope it doesn't rain on the weekend. I'm going to Gatlinburg for the weekend. I have no idea what Gatlinburg is. All right, so for those who chilled and supported the stream this morning, thank you. We're now going to swap over for the DSB versus the Internet Clip Show. I hope you will stick around. If you're watching live, what's going to happen is on your screen, it's going to pop right up and say, hey, head over there. And you can just click right there and get set up. If you're just watching this on demand, I hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope that you will join me again tomorrow, where I'm sure I will recap everything that went down on the React show and any news or anything else going on. Hello, everyone. Darkside Phil here. The only detractor channel that I watch is Doody Streams.